So this is a Toshiba Satellite C850, and this is a Satellite Pro L850. Now, my plan is today here to take the CPU from this system into this one, mainly because this Satellite Pro, as you can see, has a i7 3rd gen, whereas this has a 2nd gen i5, and also this one has a discrete graphics. But that's what we want to do today. We want to swap around the CPUs. Now, I've done a bit of research before, so these actually use socketed CPUs, which means that the CPUs can actually be swapped around. I did some research earlier, and I actually confirmed that the CPUs can be swapped. I updated this to the latest BIOS, and I've done a few extra things just to make sure it works, like with the chipset. So let's hope this works. We'll get this opened and we'll go see the inside. Now, there are lots of screws around this entire laptop, so you just need to go around and take them all out. All the screws are the same length, so don't worry about keeping them organized, just keep them in one pile. Also, you want to make sure you remove the battery before you disassemble it fully. So here's my battery. It doesn't even work, but we can take the battery from the Toshiba Satellite Pro, which does have a working battery. This does not charge at all. This is a dead cell. We'll also need to dust this out because this will definitely have some dust inside the system, especially from probably years of use it's had. This thing here just allows you to access basic things like your RAM and your storage to upgrade, but we're gonna need to take that out to get to the CPU because it's not accessible from here. We'll be upgrading it to 8 GB total with matching sticks. You'll see that under this cover plate here for the basic access to these components, there's a few screws around on the inside here that you need to take out. You may as well also take out the disk drive from the side here once you've got this screw unscrewed, because this will basically need to come out for the thing to open up properly. Flip the laptop over, open it up, and you see this keyboard here? Well, there's actually a gap that we need to be able to basically lift the keyboard up and out. Just use something like this. Now, probably the spacebar area, the best place to do it. I've already done this before because I need to verify this had an actual socketable CPU. As you can see, the clips will open. When the clips haven't been opened before, it'll be a bit harder, but it should still come out. Now, see this little ribbon cable here? That you just need to be careful of it. All you do, just flick it up like that and pull it out. Now, you have these extra screws here to unscrew before the actual base plate at the bottom comes out. Okay, now that all of your screws from under the keyboard has been removed, you can flip the laptop over just by closing it, flipping it back over, start lifting up on the panel to get this thing open, because by this point all that's holding it in is plastic clips. You'll also want to make sure you take out your hard drive when releasing everything, and here it will open up to everything on the inside. So over here we have our GPU, and over here we have our CPU, which you can see has a little socket. Now in this case you can see how my fans are very dirty, and so there's a lot of the internals here. So I'm going to go out and dust it out, and I'll come back to you guys. Quick dust out. Now it's time to remove the fan and the heatsink. So you just want to go at the two screws here near the fan. Keep track of where each go. Now you want to go and unplug the fan right there. Now your fan is unplugged. Now let's unscrew the GPU and the CPU. Now you just want to be careful on how much you unscrew each. You want to only unscrew like each side a bit each time. Do what I'm doing here and make it so there's even pressure when it's releasing, just to avoid any issues. As you can see here, this wasn't a major issue because it's a CPU over here that's holding this one down, so that's why I did the GPU first. Now everything should come out nice and smoothly, and here you go. You got your entire heatsink assembly out of the machine. Clean up the thermal paste, even though it seems quite good for me here, but you also want to dust out these fan vents, since the initial dusting I did before was still not enough to get it all out, and it actually went down to the screen because there was no keyboard in the way. Now, to take apart this fan, all you need to do is to take out this screw, and that screw. And there's also another one down here. Okay, so I've cleaned off the GPU and the CPU as much as I possibly could. Now, here's where we remove the CPU, and where you have to be very careful, and where I give you a big warning. This CPU here, it uses pins. So when you take it out, you need to be extremely careful not to bend or interfere with any of the pins, especially when you're placing it on like a hard surface. Just be very careful, take caution, and take care of it if you want to use it again, or have it as a backup. So all you're going to need to release a CPU is something like this small flathead. Just put it in there, as you can see, for about 180 degrees. As you can see here, it's been turned the other way. And now the CPU should come right free. There we go. As you can see, our CPU has pins and it is removable. Now while I'm at it, you can do this without taking the entire cover off, but I'm going to also replace this RAM here. And here I'm going to put my 8 GB of RAM in. There we go. Now I'm going to go get my replacement CPU from the other machine and put it into this one. So I've taken the CPU out of the other system. So this is our i7-3630QM. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place it into the socket, make sure it's flat, and you just do a full 180 and close it up. Now it shouldn't go anywhere. As you can see, I try to lift it up, it doesn't move. Now make sure that you put it in the right orientation. It should slot in easily, should not require force to keep it flat and down like this and stay in the socket. Okay, now it's time to reapply the thermal paste. Now for each chip, you usually just need to do a small drop and a small dot. Now that's for the chips that are being covered, so this one and this one. So for this one, I'm just going to do a small line, and for the graphics chip, just another small dot. Now place the CPU and GPU cooler back on. Once on, start screwing down the GPU and the CPU. Now plug the CPU and GPU fan back in and screw the fan back down. Now I'm going to do a quick test just to make sure this power's on, but you don't have to if you know this is going to work. You just put it all back together. To put it back together, you just need to reverse the steps and how you opened it. As you can see, it's successfully booted into the BIOS with this new CPU, and we're done. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, click like, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.